Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank all of the members of the press for coming out this afternoon, just like you did yesterday. And so the purpose of today is to provide you with another update on where we are with the water situation that we have in eastern Henrico. So yesterday, the intent was to really give you a play-by-play of where we were, and I'm going to continue with that mantra, if you will. So since yesterday's press conference, our county staff have been busy in efforts to restore water in the eastern portion of the county. Those efforts have continued overnight. We have worked with our regional partners to solve the water crisis. And yesterday afternoon, Deputy County Manager Steve Yob was asked to go to the city of Richmond to help them with their water treatment plant operations and getting that facility back online. Steve was joined with a number of other county staff that had been working there and continued to work. He was also joined by Hanover's utility director and a number of other employees from Hanover County who were augmenting the efforts that the city was taking to restore that operation, which I think has been actually Herculean when you do that post-mortem. So overnight, we had crews out all night in eastern Henrico that were making a push, literally fire hydrant by fire hydrant, restoring water. We were able to restore water to nearly 6,000 residents and businesses. And it was cold last night. We had Bentley Chan, our Director of Public Utilities. I think publicly I can tell everyone that you're still wearing what you were wearing last night. And our chairman of the board, Tyrone Nelson, was actually with me, and then he was joined by Mr. Cooper, who came out to offer support to those crews who were literally going manhole to manhole, closing valves. So we were moving further east. And meanwhile, as we were out there, Steve and that team working at the water treatment plant in the city were able to have success there, restore that water treatment plant, and get more water moving for the city of Richmond. I believe at the last, the mayor noted this morning that 7 of 22 pumps were working, and I think that number continues to increase. I have been in constant contact with Sabrina Joy Hogg, as well as April Bingham. Sabrina is the interim CAO in the city. April is the utilities director. Midday today, the Virginia Department of Health issued Henrico County a boil water advisory for eastern Henrico County. They issued that boil water advisory because water in that portion of the county areas, water was not moving through the utility system. However, what the Virginia Department of Health didn't realize is that once water is in our system, there is no way to say water's in eastern Henrico, it can't end up in western Henrico. So ultimately what that results in is that the county will issue a boil water advisory effective immediately to all of our residents. That boil water advisory is anticipated to be temporary as the city is going through the last phases of its boil water advisory with the Virginia Department of Health, and then we will follow protocol as necessary, but I do expect that to be temporary. Earlier this afternoon, Sabrina Joy Hogg from the city advised that the water restoration efforts in the city were progressing and that they are going to be able to have their Church Hill water tank energized. Now, why is that important? Because that water tank actually feeds the Elko area of Henrico County. And as of 3:15 this afternoon, that tank was then able to start providing water into the Elko area of Henrico County. So between the efforts that we have made getting deeper into Varina overnight and through today, and now the Elko water tank, or the Elko area starting to receive water, we are going to see water come into Varina as we speak and overnight. And so I want to, I do want to note that boil water advisory is going to be, again, necessary for the entire county. I have spoken with Dr. Cashwell, who earlier, just I believe a half hour ago, notified all of the parents in Henrico County that the school system is once again going to be closed. That is actually going to offer us some opportunities with, in the morning, 3 schools that are going to be announced later that are going to be able to be used for showers. And the sports and events center that we have in central Henrico at 6 o'clock is going to be open all night, and as necessary for people to come in and use that facility for showers. Now, before I close, I want to say thank you, and I want to do it right. So I want to say thank you to Mayor Danny Avula and the city folks that have been working on this tirelessly. Members of the press may recall, and I know you recall. So Danny Avula was actually the health director in Richmond, Henrico. He worked for this city manager. We went through COVID together, and Danny took us, our region, through COVID. He has been in office, a week, and his first crisis, and collectively we came together, and I believe we have solved this issue for our residents and for our region. I want to thank my counterparts in Hanover County and Chesterfield for everything that they've done, and the Regional Incident Management Team for everything that they have done, and our staff who has worked to the bone trying to figure out how to get this water crisis solved. So without further ado, I am going to ask Bentley Chan to come forward, and he'll be followed by Rob Rowley, our emergency manager. Bentley?
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Thank you all for attending today. Just some details on what the manager spoke about with the boil water notice. The boil water notice is a precaution for anything that may come through this kind of first push of water. And so the Department of Health is asking residents to boil their water for any drinking or consumption-related activities, so food preparation and drink preparation. But it does not mean that you have to boil your water to do other things, such as clean or shower. Please don't boil the water before you shower. And so a press release will be boil water advisory will be released following this discussion. I did also want to let people know that through our kind of ongoing efforts, we have brought water to the Mechanicsville Turnpike area, and with the City of Richmond's support through what is normal operations for that area of the county, we believe that within the next 24 to 48 hours, residents should see more normal use of their facilities. And up until that point, you may get some air in your lines, you may get some gurgling as you turn on the faucet, like at that slow drip as the system gets filled up. And so don't be alarmed by that. It is normal. You may get some kind of frothy or extremely aerated water, that is fine as well. It's just a normal practice, and you may get some discoloration as well as some kind of mineralization. But do some flushing of your system, run your sinks for a little while, and it should be fine. But I will say that if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to give us a call at 501-4275. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that our ongoing efforts, you may have seen them as you were driving in on Parham Road. We are repairing a water main break. So just the nature of working with utilities in cold weather. So with that, I will turn it over to Rob Rowley, our emergency manager.
All right. Well, thank you, Bentley. So Henrico County continues to provide potable water for any of our residents that need it. At this time, we are still operating two points of distribution that are operating 24/7, and those are at the East Government Center and the East Rec Center. All right. We are also offering water at two libraries, Sampson and Verona Library. Those centers will still be open through 9 o'clock tonight when the library is closed for normal business hours. Tomorrow, those two sites will not reopen as we shift our focus to providing water at that Sports and Events Center, again, which is going to open up tonight at 6 o'clock. As the manager mentioned, the Sports and Events Center will provide water as well as a place to take a shower, get warm for a few minutes, charge some devices. And again, as the manager mentioned, we are currently planning to open up 3 additional sites that will also provide water and showers across the county, and we will have more information on that soon. We are also proactively working with our healthcare facilities, and this includes providers like dialysis centers, group homes, and things of that nature, to make sure that they are, first of all, aware of the boil water requirement, and that also we are providing them with potable water as necessary. Again, as Bentley mentioned, we can't emphasize enough, we have a 24/7 call center to answer your questions or let us know what your needs are. And that phone number again is 804-501-4275, option number 2. And with that, I will turn it over to Fairfield District Supervisor Roscoe Cooper.
I want to begin by stating that the Fairfield community continues to deal with the effects of this regional water crisis. We have been boots on the ground, working around the clock with our county colleagues to find solutions to this water crisis. We will continue to provide you with updates, be very transparent in our communications, and we won't stop until we have water back in every household and business in Eastern Henrico County. To all of my neighbors throughout the district who are also experiencing heat issues due to the lack of water flow, we are diligently working to make sure you stay warm and safe. I'm grateful for the village, that is our community, the volunteers, my board colleagues, my Rising Mount Zion Baptist Church members, and everyone who is lending a hand to help respond to this crisis. I mention this because in the interim, I have found opportunities to meet the needs of our families, elderly, and homebound residents. We have stood up a delivery system, and I personally have delivered cases of waters to household. Hear me clearly when I say the county will not stop providing these services and is working toward full restoration of our system as quickly as we possibly can. Our job will not be complete until every single resident and every single business has water at full pressure. Fairfield, we are together in this as we are as a county. I ask now that you'll receive our Board of Supervisors Chairman, Reverend Tyrone Nelson.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I want to take a second to recognize my colleagues who are with us again today. Jody Rogish, who represents Tuckahoe District, and Misty Roundtree, who represents 3 Chop. Reverend Cooper and I both appreciate the support of our colleagues, as though they represent communities that are not impacted or hadn't been by this crisis initially, that they have been very supportive of everything that we've done. So I count that as important. And so I want to say thank you to both of you all for being here. This has been a difficult journey. And so those who live in East Henrico who have been impacted, some point Monday evening into Monday night, you maybe went to sleep, wet the water, woke up Tuesday, you didn't have it. And we had shared with you on Monday that we thought we were in a good place. And we shared that out of confidence with what we had done to that point. And what we found out Tuesday is that we had a water main break overnight on Monday night, and the flow of water was disrupted, and it impacted thousands and thousands of people who are still being impacted right now. Most everyone who is not on well water in Varina doesn't have water, and many of the residents in the Fairfield district, particularly those who live in the central part, well, the western, eastern part of the district and the central part don't have water. I'm confident that with the team of persons who work with us, you know, Mr. Bentley Chan, our county manager, our deputy county managers, everybody has been all hands on deck. And, you know, I put this in perspective. The crisis really hit us on Tuesday morning, which was yesterday morning, and in a day and a half, I feel like we have mobilized. Have we been perfect in the mobilization? No. But even right now, we have volunteers out. When people call in, they leave an address. We have people dropping off water. Rob and his team, they have coordinated trying to make sure that hospitals and health centers are being taken care of. If you go to our public safety building, our training center, people are all over that building working right now. And I'm glad to be a part of a team that cares. And I know persons are frustrated. I want you to know that we hear you. I too, like you, woke up Tuesday morning to brush my teeth, turned the faucet on, and it dripped for about 15 seconds, and then it stopped working. I called the county manager, and we can joke about it now. He told me to flush the toilet, it'll work, and I flushed and it didn't. And ever since then, we've not had water. So I, like you, have been running all over the place trying to get bottled water, trying to figure out how to flush the commode without taking a 24 case of water to flush the commode. You know, how to do all the things that we take water for granted. And so we're in this thing together. And, you know, I just want to let you know that I hope we're starting to see some light. And by this time tomorrow, many of you will be in a much better place than you are today. So hang in there with our partners, with our county team, and with us. You guys have been looking out for each other. And because of that, I think we're going to be all right. So God bless you. Keep the fight up, and let's keep on looking out for each other.
I'm going to ask Rob and Bentley to come forward as well as we go through a question and answer period. Chief of Staff Carrie Trattina, if you would come forward too, rely on you for any expertise that any questions, as questions arise. So at this point, I'd like to open it up to questions. Yep.
Hey, so we've received a lot of comments from people who have expressed some distrust in the government that, you know, a few inches of snow could shut down something so integral as this. What would you guys say to those that are just really questioning and uncertain right now of how something, you know, that seems so small could have caused something so big like this?
So, you know, I would flip that question on its head. My experience has been, what I have seen throughout this has also been the goodness of our community. I mean, I have seen board members personally deliver water. I have seen board members working at night. I've had board members in the Emergency Operations Center. We've had staff working overnight. We have seen volunteers come up and say, you know what, how can we help? How can we get water to places? I have seen the region come together and say, how do we figure this out? You know, we did it with COVID, and that is a real example. So I think there's always going to be a naysayer. There are going to be people that, you know, go on social media and post at a whim because they're anonymous. What I have seen is the goodness of our region throughout this experience, and I certainly hope that continues to transcend into other issues. Yes, sir.
Yes, so for the county boil water advisory, I know that you had mentioned it's kind of dependent on the city's boil water advisory as to when that would expire, but do you guys have any sort of guesstimation or expiration date as to when that would be lifted?
So we do expect it. Bentley, you want to come? Where is Bentley? Yeah, if you would come forward.
So we've been in close coordination with our partners at the City of Richmond. From what we've been communicated, it takes 2 bacteriological tests, each 24 hours apart, and if those are good, then we would expect a boil water advisory to be lifted. As we understand it, one of those tests has been completed within their drinking water facility. It came back clean. They're waiting on the second one, and then they're also at the same time doing those same tests in their distribution system, so the system that goes to individual properties. And so as those tests come back and they come back clean, we will be in close contact with you and all media to let everyone know.
Would the county also have to conduct those same tests?
So we don't, but we are considering doing it ourselves just as an added benefit of safety.
And as far as water pressure goes, can you share what percentage of residents are fully restored at this point, and how many more residents are still waiting for that full pressure back on?
I believe the manager had previously said that 6,000 residents in the Varina district are now at close to full. Oh, hey Ben, I think she had a follow-up. Oh, thank you. So about 6,000 residents were restored last night, and there are about 23,000 that remain to be served, and we believe that through our efforts and the efforts of the City of Richmond, that those 23,000 will see more normal service in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Sounds good. And a follow-up on the boil water advisory, I know that's in effect as we speak now. Is there any health concerns or reasons as to why that boil water advisory wasn't in effect yesterday?
So there's no reason, only to say that as we bring our system to full capacity and we utilize our interconnections with the City of Richmond and bringing all of that water together, we just want to make absolutely sure that everything is totally fine, and just as an added level of comfort, have been working with the Virginia Department of Health, which has resulted in this boil water advisory.
Bentley, after the initial Richmond issue on Monday, you were able to kind of transition to county water pretty seamlessly. Was the water main break then the real issue that has created the situation that we're in now, or would this have happened anyway?
So this would not have happened anyway. So in normal situations where the City of Richmond's plant has to kind of shut down temporarily for maintenance, we are normally in very, very close communication with them, and they say, hey, within the next 12 to 24 hours, you should be seeing this flow, this pressure, and that allows us to adjust our system. And given the quickness of the storm and of the events of Monday, didn't give all of the regional partners the time to react. And normally we would have been able to sustain the entire system through the eastern part of the county. And now, like in our investigations, we were finding, yes, there is a water main break that is draining that water that is intended to serve that area, and we also had open valves at the county-city border that was pulling like Henrico water into the city. So I hope the residents at that border appreciate that.
Is there any reason why those valves to the city weren't cut off sooner? And if so, do you believe that the pressure for Henrico residents would be better now?
Okay. So those valves aren't normally cut off. They are the interconnects that the manager spoke of, like just the sharing of resources throughout all localities, recognizing that this is such a precious resource that everyone has a key part in, and so once we recognized that there was lower to no pressure on the Richmond side, we realized that we should close those valves to hold the water that we were producing in Henrico.
Just real quick for me too. For that water main break that happened in Highland Springs, that has since been fixed, correct?
Yes.
And so the water main break that's happening here on Parham, is that also causing water not to be go to residents right now?
No, so you go back to yesterday and the timeline that I shared with you when we were notified, we have a problem. We can't provide you with water. We tried to fill as much water as we possibly could into our system. And, water is pumped from the west and it goes to the east, although there are all these interconnections which require that boil water notice. So, no, this water main break is not going to impact what we are doing in the east. Let me also, just as a recap, because you have a lot of folks that are watching online. I'm told nearly 2,000 people are online right now. So I'm going to ask Rob Rowley to come forward and once again give a recap of other services that we are offering for our county residents in need. And so if you can do that, Rob.
Yes, sir, glad to. So again, to remind folks, the 24/7 operation of passing out water at the Eastern Rec Center and the Eastern Government Center, that is still happening, and that will continue to happen around the clock until determined no longer needed. Tonight, we are also still operating at the Varina and Sandston libraries, passing out water. Those will stay open until 9 o'clock tonight when the libraries close. Those will not reopen tomorrow, and again, that's because we're shifting our focus to these larger facilities that can provide more services. So as the manager mentioned, at 6 o'clock tonight, we will begin operating at the Henrico County Sports and Event Center with water distribution as well as shower facilities and power and warming stations. So people can come in, charge a cell phone, get warm for a few minutes, stuff like that. Also overnight or throughout the evening, we will keep planning for 3 additional facilities throughout the county that will again be water distribution as well as shower and warming and power facilities. Once we get more details on those 3 facilities, it will get out to the public.
All right. Any other last questions? Once again, I want to thank each of you for coming out and putting out this information. I want to thank our residents for their patience. I began yesterday with an apology, and I'll end today's press conference with an apology from yours truly for everything that you are undergoing. We certainly hope that situation is rectified within the next 24 hours. Thank you.